Today's live feed, I decided to do something a little different today. I'm not going to be here tomorrow at all. We're going to be out visiting family and seeing relatives that I don't usually have much to do with or talk to, but enough about that. There's only a few of them on one side of the family that I sit and talk to regularly. Well, unfortunately, one passed away, but I still got another relative that I still converse with back and forth. So basically, the whole point of let's just dive right into the whole topic of what I'm going to talk about today. So, as most people do, is most celebrate Christmas. Some don't do any gift giving. Some do gift giving. Some people they kind of forget what the meaning of Christmas is really about. So first, we're going to dive into the Christmas aspect of it. Well, basically, with as most people know, Jesus was born on December 25th, as the Bible is described. And it's basically it's like Joseph and Mary, or Mary was conceiving a child, and like she was must have been having contractions or something. And I'm not a history buff here, but it's kind of important to really know the real meaning of Christmas. It's not about commercialism. It's not about topping each other's gifts off. But we'll get back to what I'm trying to say here. Well, basically, on December 25th, Jesus was born. You have the three wise men. You got your, uh, well, they brought their three gifts, and I'm not going to get too deep into it because I'm not in the theology department. So if you really want to know more about that kind of stuff, you got to do your own research. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's all spend time with your family. Don't stay home alone. Um, you gotta go to church. What's the point of Christmas without going to church for sure? And even if you don't have any relatives to get together with, just to go to church doesn't matter where you go, as long as you when you go to church on Christmas, it kind of gives you a special purpose. And even if you don't like the people that are sitting around you, go anyway. It's kind of gives you a purpose for that day. So basically, I don't have a lot to say on, and I didn't really prepare much for this topic, but what's really exciting about Christmas is when you kind of put your lights out and get your decorations up. And but I would have to say probably my favorite part is like the nativity scenes. And when it comes to light displays outside, and I'm not really into all the big flashy lights. It's basically what you're when you do something like that, you're basically it's like Las Vegas, the city of lights. If you're gonna do that, go move to Vegas and be part of their prestige of lighting. And but a little bit of Christmas lights is touching, and they don't have to be flashing, and it doesn't have to be that big and exciting. Just a little something. That's basically here at the office. I don't really have anything spectacular out, but just kind of a little something for everybody in the mood. But basically, with Christmas, you gotta, and there's different aspects of Christmas. There's some other religions that, even though they celebrate Christmas, but some of them they don't do gift giving, and some of them they don't. Instead of having Santa Claus, they got Kris Kringle. That's over in some of the European countries, and then in some country over there they got Saint Nick. And then for those people that are non Catholics and Christians, there's some that celebrate Kwanzaa. I honestly really don't know much about that holiday, but to each culture, they got a different way of doing Christmas. There's some people that even, when it comes to tradition, there's some people that they just order pizza on Christmas. There's some that make pumpkin pies, some that make apple pies. There's some that make Christmas cookies. There's some that don't do any of that. And there's some that make cakes, some that make minced meat pie. Doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do it together as a family or with people that you like to spend time with. So the only thing I don't really consider a very meaningful tradition is going to the bar, drinking yourself silly. You could do that, but what kind of Christmas is that? Like sit there and drink your sorrow away until you're so drunk that you don't even know what day or time it is. It's sad to see people resorting to it, or even paraphernalia, drugs, and that kind of thing. But even if you don't have plans, just kind of either that or go volunteer in a soup kitchen somewhere, or volunteer like if you know a church or something that's putting on a meal for less fortunate people that don't have the money to put a decent meal on at home or gifts or anything. Go be part of that. There's a lot of organizations out there that put on meals on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. I think the Salvation Army, they think they might put on something. A lot of the churches and parishes and stuff, they put on, sometimes they put on meals and feasts and stuff. There's always opportunities to go out and do, or if you know a family that's less fortunate, that's just barely scraping by, you can always invite them over for, even if they're not relatives, you can always invite them, make a meal and invite them, and it, even if you didn't have gifts or anything for them, they would they would be tickled pink if you were to do that. Or if you gave a family gift card to like Cops or Pick and Save or Festival for groceries, so they could put on a meal themselves. There's some people that they do have household departments and stuff, but there's some people that are just limited on finances. Sometimes their jobs don't provide enough money month to month to, and it can get expensive. But there's a lot of opportunities out there for supporting one another, or pay somebody's. There's a story I was reading the other day. Actually, no, it wasn't the other day. Saw it on TV, or no, not TV either. I heard it on the radio that there's a guy down in Florida that paid for people's utility bills as a Christmas present. It's like $4,000 worth of unpaid utility bills, and he paid just so that all these people didn't lose their electricity and freeze. That I thought was touching that somebody would do that. It's that kind of stuff that is paid forward that you can always think about. It's because when you so it's it basically Christmas is also about giving. It's not really about receiving. It's just or give somebody a gift certificate to a restaurant or something. Or it's not a. And the next topic I'm going to get into about Christmas is we're going to jump back to the gift giving thing. But the thing that you have to realize is when it comes to gifts, it's not about outrageously doing expensive gifts like cars and boats and motorcycles and trucks and SUVs and vans or four wheelers or ATVs or skidoos or what you got to remember is, and it's especially for the kid aspect, it's not about the video games. It's not about fancy gaming computers and laptops and TVs and Xboxes or PlayStations or Wii's or biggest expensive Apple iPhones. It's not about all that. You can still do gift giving and it still be meaningful. Like even in my family, we don't outspend each other on outrageously large gifts. What we do is we buy each other stuff that we either really like or practical gifts. It's not about there being such a huge pile of gifts to the point where there's some people that do that, but a lot of times you buy kids all the toys and games and stuff that by 6 months they're done with it anyway. So you might as well buy something that you know that they're going to use. It's it's really hard to describe this, but it's the kind of thing you put a lot of thought into it. It's more or less the thought that counts. It's not about all the gadgets and stuff. It's or it could even maybe be a homemade gift. That's always an option too. Like let's say you got a girlfriend or you got a boyfriend. Now, if you're in shoes where you got a girlfriend, you could always make her a nice jewelry box. You could always make her a dresser. You could make her, if you're handy with woodworking, you could make her wall decor, anything that fancy or tickle their fancy. Or if you're the woman and you got to find something, want to make something for your boyfriend, you could always make him a tool toolbox, a tool chest. You could even make a nice display case so you can display like trophies or guns or pocket knives or there's some guys that are into buttons and coins and stuff. You can always make a coin display box. There's all sorts of ideas out there. Or if a woman's really handy with sewing, you can always make your kids or husband or boyfriend or a shirt or something. Or there's honestly there's a lot of things, and even for the husbands to wives, you could even if your wives are like into candles or something, you could always mold her a nice candle or make or it's it's up to the individual what they want to do. It's really cool some unique ideas that people came up with in the past, but there's a lot of different things out there that you can try. And if you don't succeed, try again. And on that note, I'm thinking tonight yet, we will do a Christmas product review of an HP laptop that's been sitting here for the last 2 weeks. So that's leaving Thursday. And this Dell, on the other hand, I'm gonna try a different sound card and different modem and a different NIC card. And if that doesn't do anything, I give up on it. No matter what I do, I'm thinking that's pretty much there's something wrong with the motherboard. So, oh well. I think it's a really cool computer. It's a Dell Dimension 4100, but if it doesn't work, what's it worth then? So, on that note, hopefully I'll be. I think the laptop video, we're just going to do another stream. That way I don't have to sit and edit it because I got like 15 other videos that are in the middle of being in the process of being edited. Some of it's uncut yet. Some I have to go through and edit certain parts out. So that takes time. So eventually everything will come out, but it takes time to. So we will see everybody later then.